Hi everyone, March is here. Welcome back to the channel, and today is another unboxing, so let's get at it. Right in front of me, if you're not too familiar with this sneaker, this is actually an independent brand called Brand Black. So I'll just show you first the box of the Brand Black. So Brand Black originated in Los Angeles, and it's written in top of the box, Brand Black, Los Angeles. The Brand Black has been around the market for quite some time. I actually owned the rare metal ones, and this is actually the rare metal 2s. I really love how the rare metal ones played. I was really excited that Brand Black made a second shoe out of the rare metal collection, and I have to cop it. So a little background on the Brand Black is it's an independent company. They actually were the ones who made the Big Baller brand signature sneakers. They tied up with Big Baller brand, but unfortunately there was an issue regarding the ownership of Big Baller brand. That's why they discontinued it, sadly. But I'm still happy that Brand Black is still in the market and they made the rare metal 2s. My first impression of the sneakers is it's really light, and I think Brand Black really paid attention, or they really put emphasis on the weight of the sneaker. They really wanted the sneaker to make it really light, and here are my reasons why. So let's start off with the upper of the sneaker. It features a ripstop upper. As you know, ripstop, it's very supportive, very structured. The ripstop material is very light. I like how they implemented the ripstop material for the upper of the sneaker, because if you take notice, the upper is made out of the ripstop, but it has fusing on top of that ripstop. And in my colorway, the fusing is iridescent, so when you shift it or angle it into the light, it gives you a different color combination, like a purple, green, and a little bit of pink. So it's really cool. You can see it on top of the toe box, going to the side panels near the lace loops. There's a lot of fusings around that area, so it's not just for aesthetics. It also makes the ripstop more durable if the ripstop is not durable enough already. If that's not enough fusing for you, there's another layer of fusing around the edges of the toe area, where it gives you extra support and durability. And I think it also helps support the outsole, which we will be talking about later on. But as for the lace loops, there's some hints of premium materials there. It has a very nice suede materials around the lace loops to give it a little bit more contrast in terms of materials. So this is more futuristic, while they added some leather to give it a more premium and elegant style to the sneaker. And in my opinion, it really works well with the upper of the sneaker. And since we are in the lacing system, the laces are made out of a very rough material. I think that the laces won't have any problems loosening up. Actually, it's really kind of hard to lace right now. It's kind of wax, so let's see when I break this in. But don't worry guys if the laces loosens up, because it comes with a lace lock, which is very nice in terms of aesthetics. And if you're gonna rock this off court, which you can surely do because of how it really looks, I really like how they designed this. It doesn't look like a basketball sneaker, it looks like a lifestyle sneaker, but you can play with this. And if you just want to loosen up the laces and not tie it, you can adjust it with the lace locks. As for the tongue of the sneaker, it's actually stitched down to the footbed, or it's actually a half booty upper. Half of the tongue is stitched while the other half isn't. What I really like about the tongue of the sneaker, which I think Nike should have done to the LeBron 18, is they should have made this kind of tongue if they really wanted to make it really thin. The tongue on the rare metal 2 is really thin. At the same time, it's like neoprene that is pressed, that is heat pressed, making the tongue really thin. At the same time, still very comfortable around your ankle. When I was trying this on and I was really tightening up the laces before I made this video, I didn't have any discomfort around the tongue area, which I think is a perfect execution if you want your tongue to be really thin, at the same time still very comfortable. And it's also perforated, so there's enough ventilation running through the tongue area of the sneaker, because on the side panels or the materials where the ripstop is, it's not breathable because it's heavily fused. So they put some more perforation around the tongue area for more ventilation of the sneaker. And now moving on to the back part or heel part of the sneaker. As you can see, it is a low-cut sneaker right from the heel to the ankle collar. It is a low-cut sneaker. The tongue is just very high, but I still consider it a very low-cut sneaker. And if you want extra ankle support for the sneaker, since it's really low around the heel part, you just have to tie it until the last lace loop so that you can tighten it up around this area where your ankle bone is. Actually, my ankle bone is located just below this flap, so it kind of protects your ankle a bit in that area, but still giving you the very nice flexibility of your ankle to move at the heel part, so there's more mobility around the heel of your foot. And another touch of the sneaker that I really like is they made this extra layer panel with a string on top. And if you wanted a more tight feel around your ankle or around your midfoot part of the sneaker, and it will give you that extra hug that you need. But if you really wanted to use all the extensions that you can find here, I think you need to find longer laces so that you can really maximize this part of the sneaker. As for the fit of the upper, I would say it's pretty snug. There is no dead space on top of your toe area, so that's a thing to consider if you're a wide footer or you have teak feet. Now let's move on to the cushion part of this sneaker. The cushion of the Rare Metal 2 is made out of Jetlon cushion. It's a super critical Jetlon. This is the newest generation Jetlon, and they named it super critical. I think it's the way that they treated or made the Jetlon. They put it in a very super critical stage in order to get the right density for the foam of this cushion. I must admit, it's very bouncy when I was trying it before I made this video. The cushion is very bouncy, but as for impact protection, it isn't that much. But I have to wait and see. I have to try this out first and break the cushion in when I start playing with the Rare Metals 2. And the super critical Jetlon is hidden or wrapped around this outsole, which we are going to discuss in a bit. And as for the cushion setup, because you can see this cut, this is how thick the Jetlon is around the heel part, while it's slimmer down a bit around the forefoot part. But it's super bouncy right now, which I'm really impressed, especially the cushion is wrapped with this outsole. So I can't wait, and I want to see if it improves, especially when the outsole is broken in. It will become a lot softer, so maybe it will make more room for the Jetlon to expand when it softens up. Now speaking of the outsole of the Rare Metal 2, this is one of the nicest implementation or a very nice design, a new innovation in terms of implementing the outsole. And like I said in the beginning of the video, they really put emphasis on the lightness of the sneaker. This is one of the major reasons why they use the newest Vibram technology, which they are calling the light base. The outsole is very thin, at the same time very light, and it's really light right now. I think it's partially heat welded to the upper of the Rare Metal 2, and it wraps the Jetlon. And really hats off to Brand Black for really pushing the technology on this sneaker and really thinking out of the box and not just doing what the other sneaker brands are doing right now. They push it to the limit and really tried experimenting on the outsole of the Rare Metal 2s. And as for the rubber material of the traction, the Vibram light base is very thick and has deeper grooves, and they kind of form this hexagon shape, which I don't think is an odd to WandaVision, but that's another story. But it looks like hexagon and stars, and it's deep. The rubber is hard, and I think outdoor use for the sneaker will be okay, but let's wait and see. I'll give you an update on the performance review. And the outsole has a really nice shape to it. It's really wide on the forefoot and on the heel, plus it's a little bit rounded, so it's very stable at the same time, and at the same time it has a nice transition if you're doing some crossover. There's extra tractions on the wall of the medial side of the outsole, which is really good, and it runs from the forefoot to the heel. Actually, it's all around the outsole, so it really goes up. There's extra traction here if you really need that, and I don't think you need that. And even on the tip of the sneaker, there's some extra tractions that you can find there. And as for the insole of the sneaker, it has a very typical insole. It has a very standard insole, and it has a strobo board for more stability of the sneaker. But I'm not too sure if it has a stability plate or a midfoot shank, but I think it does because there's a spring back to the sneaker currently right now. I believe that there's a midfoot shank hidden in the midfoot part of the sneaker. As for the sizing of the rare metal 2s, true to size if you're a regular footer. If you have the rare metal ones, go with the same size. And like I said, it's kind of snug in the forefoot, so if you can fit it, especially for wide footers, better to try it out first. It is currently available here in the Philippines and it's exclusively distributed by Titan. You can find it over at Titan BGC if you are interested in this pair. And for the price of the brand black rare metal 2s, this is actually kind of expensive, but I will explain why. This actually costs 11,900 plus, so around 12,000. And one of the main reasons why it is really expensive because Brand Black is a small brand, so they couldn't produce a very large quantity out of the sneaker due to financial constraints, unlike bigger brands where they can really maximize their mold of the sneaker. So the mold of the sneaker, a little background or a little bit of technical side of the sneaker, because before I actually ventured in the footwear, I actually made some flip-flops that I sold here in the Philippines, and the main costs that I spent on those flip-flops were the molds. So the molds really cost a lot. So I really see where Brand Black is coming from. The molds cost a lot, so they have to make it up for it. So the molds cost is high, but the quantity is low. So they have to make the sneakers price a little bit higher, so it will cover the cost of the mold. Because unlike Nike and Adidas and other big brands, they can produce big amount of quantity for their sneakers, so they can actually compensate the cost of their mold with the quantity that they are selling their sneakers at. And if you're asking, why couldn't Brand Black produce more quantities of this rare metal 2s? It is because maybe they have their financial support or their investor that could only invest this amount of money for their company. So they have to really budget the mold and the quantity. So maybe if they sell more of the sneaker and it will be sold out, so then maybe they can produce more quantities of the rare metal 2s. So I hope I explained that well. Like I said, the sneaker is really lightweight. On hand, unfortunately, I don't have a weighing scale for my sneaker here in the house, but on hand, it's one of the lightest sneaker out in the market right now. So this has been my unboxing and initial impression of the Brand Black Rare Metal 2s. Let me know what you think about the sneaker. Do you like them? In terms of aesthetics, I really like how it looks. It doesn't look like your typical basketball sneaker, and you can really rock them off court, especially this colorway. This actually comes in 3 colorways. This white with iridescent upper, and there's one white outsole with a silver upper, and there's a white outsole with a black upper. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Brand Black Rare Metal 2. Are you planning to cop this pair? Hit me a comment down below. So this has been Marches once again, guys. Thank you for dropping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.